Hey folks, sorry, just wanted to break in. Quick safety message. I just took a look at the footage that I put together today, and I just wanted to make a quick safety message, especially to new tractor owners. I'm very fortunate. I have a lot of subscribers that are longtime tractor owners that have been able to help me out with a lot of advice, and I've got some new tractor owners that have subcompact or compact tractors. And I've got a few, even this week I had somebody that said they just took delivery of their Kubota and they're pretty excited, which is great. If you're like me and you're a new tractor owner, you're learning things as you go, and I've been very fortunate that I've got a lot of good advice from folks. I want you, as you go through the video today, you'll notice that I'm sitting in the springtime here in Ontario, so you'll see there's some ice sheets, there's some snow, and there's also a lot of ground that's soft and muddy. And especially as you see me go through the forest or through the back clearing, you'll see the tractor is dipping and bobbing and weaving through the mud and over ice, and it dips down, and you'll see that it's reasonably stable. But the reason it's stable is because I've got ballast in the back of the tractor. Especially towards the end of the video, you'll see I'm picking up some pretty huge tree trunks or trees that have been down, and I'm dropping them on my burn pile. And as you see the tractor going over rocks and down into mud and digging itself back out of the mud, the reason why the tractor is not flipping over is because I've got 400 pounds on the back of the tractor to offset what I'm picking up with the grapple. So if you've just picked up your subcompact or compact, or you're thinking about getting it, so important that if you do not have an implement or some kind of an attachment that weighs a good 350, 400 pounds to put on the back of the tractor while you're picking up stuff with the front, you have to get ballast. You have to get weight for the back to make sure that you maintain stability so that the tractor does not dip into the mud and flip over because all the weight's in the front. So don't want to belabor it, but for those new folks that are thinking about a tractor, or you just got a tractor, please make sure you got ballast. You know, I'm a big fan. Keep the ROPS up. Put your seatbelt on to keep you in the seat. If you decide that you like the ROPS down, take the seatbelt off, just like the manual tells you, so you can jump off if something happens. But I think it's better if you keep the ROPS up, put your seatbelt on, make sure you've got a load in the back on the 3-point hitch to offset anything you pick up in the front. Okay, enjoy the video. Just wanted to tell you. Thanks. Hey, welcome back to Central Ontario. Took a few weeks off there and did some traveling, somewhere a little warmer and a little sunnier. But back at it here today. We're in that ugly season. We get 4 seasons up here in Ontario and Canada. Beautiful in the winter with the snow, gorgeous in the summer with the full trees and the green, and pretty in the fall when the trees all turn. And then now we're in the spring thaw, which means, you know, we're getting a little bit of snow, then it melts. We get a little bit of snow, it melts. And things, you know, basically aren't real pretty for another, probably another month and a half after we go through the rainy season. So, got a lot of work to do for around the property, as I mentioned, and you probably remember I bought a grapple when I first started. Got the tractor last fall, and I knew I would need the grapple probably more than the bucket. And you're probably going to see for the coming season that the grapple is sitting on the front of the tractor far more often than the bucket. And the reason why is because we've got, you know, several acres of property which is mostly forested, and there's a lot of dead wood, a lot of debris on the ground, which I'd love to clean up, maybe thin out some of the dead trees that are still standing, especially the ones that are close to the house, and make it a little bit more pleasing for the family, so we can, you know, go through walks through the forest without having to climb over big mounds of trees and debris and dead wood. So, got a plan put together. This is not a 1 week or a 1 month plan. This is probably going to take years, I think, because it's just things you're going to do as you maintain your property. I'm going to get the grapple on the tractor, and I've figured out a plan. I've got a big clearing here which I plan on one day building a garage in, but for now I think it'll make a good site as a burn site. where I can take some of this dead wood and pile it, and then in the right conditions I can get it burned off and get rid of it. Let me show you what it looks like. So I've got this clearing here, which I cleared out probably a season or two ago in the event that I built my garage. And as you can see, I had a decision. It was either pay to build a garage or to buy a tractor, and the tractor won. So the garage is coming in time. But in the meantime, as you can see above me, there's a lot of areas around this forest and a lot of work to be done as far as cleaning up the forest. And what I think I'm going to do here is I'm going to leave this as a burn pit here, bring the dead wood and everything here as I collect it, and then I'll burn it off. And if there's any good wood that I can use for firewood, of course, I'll put that aside and I'll cut that up later and maybe run it down the street to my neighbor for his boiler. The way I'm going to attack this, I think, because I've got about 4 acres, is I'm going to work from this site outward. Because as I go back into the forest, I need a clear path to come in. So I'm going to start taking some of the stuff that's around the burn site and just work my way outward through the property over the coming, months, years, however long it takes, because there's lots of stuff to do. If you've got property, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There's always something to do, whether you've got to put gravel down or you've got to grade the driveway or you've got to dig to do some maintenance, whatever the case is, there's always something to do. But primarily what I'd love to do over the coming years is get this forest reasonably clean, thinned out, so that the healthy trees will grow better. And as well, we can actually use the forest, go for walks. The kids love going into the forest, so there's a lot to be done. So today I'm going to start with some grappling work. I thought I'd bring you along for the ride if you're interested. Grab a coffee and let's see if we can pick up some of the easy stuff today. Thanks for joining me. the grappling done. Hope it was enjoyable. Got lots more to do. Obviously, I'm going to spend a few more hours playing around because it's I kind of find it sanity time for me. You know, playing with the tractor, doing things around the property. But it's working pretty good. A couple of things I found out the hard way. The old bench that was smashed up in the front, I didn't realize it had been attached with big 9-inch nails, but the tractor and the grapple were eventually able to rip those out. And one of the trees that I tried to pull out was actually still rooted. The stump was still rooted, so understandable that the B2601 was not going to be ripping that stump out all by itself. Other than that, it seems to be picking up some pretty big stuff and working pretty good for me. Have a great week. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you again. Cheers.